Alright guys, I got this JJJ lighter in here. It's got a leaky valve, and I'm pretty sure that valve's plugged up as well. You can just see that this thing's had a lot of use on it. As far as, well, it's just, you can see right here the little stopper here, actually about gone. So first thing I'm going to do on this is I'm going to take this filler valve out. I think somebody's tried to work on this before because this filler valve wasn't even tight. So okay, one thing I want to mention while you guys are watching this. Say for instance, let's take this 7 alley pipe lighter I got up here for instance. Okay, now these are fine-tuned instruments right here, okay? Now there's a little spring in here and a valve. I've seen these springs out of whack and the valve's broken off and people getting in there trying to, and I actually seen where the piezo was connected, people bend the brass down. You know, listen folks, that's not the problem. The only thing you should be pointing in that direction, not sticking in there, but pointing in there, is a compressed can of air or something, just to blow out the dust or something like that. That's the only thing. Well, look at there. Yeah, I thought that was a little weak. Look at that valve part stuck in the bottom there. Alright, now let's see what we got. And the O-ring's actually pliable. That seal on there is thick and it's pliable. Usually these are hard and brittle, but you can tell that that's not. And that's pretty thick, so let's check out the internals here. Everything looks good there. Let's just stick this back together. Might be fine. Somebody might just come in and screwed back here. It's hard to say. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to be good on that. Alright. Now, first thing we want to do here is remove this screw, this flint wheel. Now listen, you guys, not all these screws are reverse thread, but these are. Now look, if you try to work on your lighter and you can't get that little screw off, you better try it the other way, because you will snap that screw off and then you're going to be in trouble. Because on these vintage lighters, you basically gotta buy another lighter for parts, unless you're keeping it for yourself. You know, there's really no sense in doing that. Then you're going to have a lighter sitting around here. It's just going to have a missing part to it. So Careful when you tighten these screws back on. I didn't think I had one very tight before, but it snapped right off. I tell you what, I had to buy some vintage lighters and lighter lots and stuff, and I eventually come across a screw that would work, but it took me probably a good 6 months or better till I come across something. Alright. This is a J&J lighter, by the way. These are one of the simplest lighters to work on, but yet these lighters are, you know, they're simple. They're simple and durable. Kind of like work on the KISS principle, you know. Keep it simple, stupid motto, you know. To me, when it comes to dependability, these are probably built like the ubiquitous AK-47, you know. Let's see here. See what we got. See if this actually just screws out, this one here. I'll just take it out. This is usually where the plug is, right here, okay? See that? Part of the, right there on that is part of the grime and stuff off of the sponge. There's a little sponge in there. What you want to do, though, is you want to remove this here too as well. Make sure you find the right size tool to do it with, because you don't want to strip these out. I'm not even going to do it that way. What I usually do is I just loosen it up real carefully with a pair of pliers, because it's just easier to do it that way, because it's not on there tight. See, it's not on there tight, and I don't want to strip those out right there, because I don't have the exact size wrench to tool. Well, maybe I can use this. It might work. I broke the tip of this off. It's pretty thin. This is what I use to open the cases on this thin piece of I don't know what it would come for. I found it'll work, and it's kind of handy for getting in between the cases of those Flaminaire F12 pipe lighters and getting them open. Alright, I'm gonna hold on a second here. I gotta get my butane here. I'm gonna put a little butane in there just to see if that pops. Well, I guess before I do that, I better put that valve back in there first. Definitely going to put a new O-ring on it out here. You know, usually when I put these fill valve O-rings on, I use a Dural 90 grade to do it, because they're a little bit harder. So it conforms and seats well, you know, into the base of the lighter. So, and it's going to hold its shape when you remove it more, so you won't have to replace it as much as if you would like a Dural 70. But you know, once these things are built, you really shouldn't have to rebuild them again for quite a while, actually. Okay. That's too big. Yeah, that'll work. This is a 5x1 millimeter here. Dural 90. I like to use a 90, like I said, on the fill valves, because these are a little bit more durable, and usually they're 1 millimeter cord thickness, so you You can get by, you know, with a small one if you had to, but on these Durals, 90s, you pretty well got to get what's going to fit right over the valve, because there is no give in these things. They don't stretch that much. Not much at all. There we go. I ain't going to put any oil on that either. That's going to seat right in there and going to be just fine. You know, these J&J lighters, really simple. Really one of the easiest lighters to work on as far as this design that you're seeing here. J&J does make a lot of lighters, but this particular design right here is very, very simple. Just keep that in mind. Alright, let's see. I just want to make sure this nozzle area right here isn't plugged up, so looks like we're good. That's good. Now, I am going to take this seal off of here and replace it as well. These get mashed down. These are most likely around the Dural 70 grade rubber, so you can see how it's conformed to the recess here on the where you install the burner valve there, and you can see that that's just broke as well. So that definitely needs to be replaced. And I'm going to see if I can get, if one of these will sit. I think this might work right here. This is a Dural 90 as well. So, you know, you can put more, you can tighten these down more without deforming them near as much as you can a 70, so it's going to be more apt to seal better. Alright, now see there's a hole right there. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab me a little tool that I use. Let's see if I can find what I did with it. There it is. It's actually a part out of a tip cleaner for a blowtorch, like a acetylene torch. You got the little thing you can get, it's got tip cleaners in it. Yeah, that's what I use for here. This is, I believe, the smallest one. Alright. That's just, I don't have my flashlight on me, but let me put this up under the light. Get my little screwdriver down in there and see how much crud I get out of there. There it is. You can see part of the filter that was in there. It's all dried up and crusted up. That's a good thing about these lighters. They don't take a lot of fancy tools to work on them. You just gotta, hey, that's, if you can see it, let me, you know, I'm getting it cleaned out there. Let me get one of my smaller tools here. Get down there and get the side of it. Yeah, there's still some gunk in there. I want to get that cleaned out good. See that gunk right there on my finger? Yeah, put a little butane, shoot it through the back side there to blow that stuff out the direction. Let's take a peek in here and see what we got here as far as, you know, run this through there again. Alright, I got that. I'm gonna get a Q-tip and some alcohol. I always use 91% alcohol and less water in it, so that's really kind of a small hole, obviously, so I'm just going to take some of this off with my finger. And get a narrower. Stick it down in there and kind of push that down in there and just clean that out. Yeah, look at that crud came out there, see that? Alright, that's every time I've rebuilt one of these guys, that's where the problem is, okay? Just keep that in mind. But all you gotta do is just clean it out and put another filter in there and assemble everything back together. About 2 times. That should be good on that. Yeah, we're good now. Look in here. Yep, we're good to go. See through the bottom end just to make sure. I'll run that through there one more time. Yep, we're good. Now, we gotta put a, now I'm going to have to get in here again. I'm going to have to put a filter in that. I don't remember exactly what size that is, but see, I've taken these all out of a bunch of disposable lighters, these filters here, okay? And there's some used ones in there as well. I just pulled out of some lighters I repaired. I just set them back just in case I wanted to compare them with something. Some of these I've cut like this in here. It's fairly thin, so I'm going to go ahead and use that one. I'll have to, let's see, let me measure. In order to get the right, so you don't want them filters any larger than you have to. But that's like 2. I tell you what. See, that says 2.4. I'll cut this filter down here. This little one on here. I'll cut it 2 millimeters. And I'll come over here and grab a 2 millimeter punch, which I think it's this one right here. Let me look. Right there it is. It's 2. That's it. Kind of get an eye for that after a while. Oh, I gotta get my hammer out of here. And my book. Put the filter on there. Try to get the center. I usually kind of spin that around. See if I'm in the center. You know, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. punching it. Alright. Alright. Now, let's get that out of there. You know. Get something a little wider. There we go. See it right there? There it is, right there. What I'm going to do now is take that little bitty thing and stick it right down in the bottom. Make sure it sits on the bottom. Don't want it cockeyed. You want it sitting down at the bottom. Yeah, looks good there. Now, this filter, or see this little ring right here? A little seal. Now, I'm pretty sure that thing's going to have to be replaced. Because it's just not. I'm just going to replace that. Give me a moment here. I'm trying to, yeah, see, I just tore that up. I like to try to get them off of there so I can kind of figure out the size, but I'll still be able to do it because I don't always have, what you call the exact size, but I got, usually on them Duro 70 O-rings, you could stretch them a little bit, okay? So you don't have to worry about getting the exact size. I'm looking here. Trying to find, I think this one here. I think this one here is going to be what I'm going to use. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to be it. These little bitty O-rings comes in handy. So when you go buy O-rings, guys, most of the ones you're going to need is going to be 70, but for the filler valves, I would buy 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 by 1. If it's got a 1 millimeter cord, it's going to be like 8 by 6 by 2, because each side of the cord is a millimeter. So it's going to be 8 millimeter OD, 6 millimeter ID. Okay, that's considering the 1 millimeter cord thickness, which is a millimeter on each side. So I can go figure that from there. But that's the general size for a filler valve. All right, now. I got my little installation tool here somewhere. If I can just find it. Well, it's got to be here. Probably looking right at it. Well, I don't. Anyway, let me use my screwdriver. What I do is spread that apart and spread that. I'm going to put this up a little bit, I think. There we go. Now that's protruding outside that just enough. What I'm going to do on that, being this is a flame adjustment valve here, and this is the one that's always spinning when you adjust your flame width. I'm going to put some silicone grease around that. That way it just helps it to seal and slide a little bit easier. Okay, now I'm going to put this in here. If I might have to replace this seal on there. No, I think I'm good. I think I'm good on that. I think I'm all right with that one. Okay. Now, make sure my filter didn't fall out there. It didn't. I'm going to stick this back on here and tighten that down. Now, from this point, we can put some butane in it. Now, you've seen how I disassembled. I'm getting kind of short into the video, so I'm going to go off here in a couple minutes because the camera doesn't allow me to do much, you know. But I'm going to have to bleed this, get the air out of there. I should have done it. Usually when you take these fill valves out, you got to put some butane in them and bleed it out at least once, maybe even 2 times. Okay, let's see what we got here. Well, get on there. Where am I? There we go. I shouldn't have to open that far. I'm going to have to continue this video. Might have to bleed it again, guys. I'm going to have to continue this video, so I'm going to sign off and restart it.